last couple of weeks. Last week, 23 carries, 75 yards. How does that help, open up the passing game? Now you can run down.
Yeah, you got to be able to run the ball or the ball. Once you get the run game going, what that does to defenses, it sucks them down. It gets safeties down low, especially when you got guys like Trey Tucker, who is one of the fast dudes in the league that you can, you can exploit those type of things. You pound the rock, pound the rock, pound the rock. Now you got the whole defense coming down. Now your play action, bombing over the top. But then in general, can soften them up, get them more in zone to fill the box so they can try to, get the run, stop the run. But now you got guys on the outside getting open. So, it all works together. It all meshes well. So, again, we got the run game going, and that's what got the pass game.
So I just talked to Devin about faith, and faith to him in this locker room. How much does faith play a part of not only your own personal career, but this whole team as a whole?
You say
faith as in the Lord.
Oh, faith. Oh, 100%, man. I'm happy you brought that up. That's one thing. I guess I'll start with me. Faith. I always say, it's God and my brother's plan. Everything we do is all for them. No matter what. We always glorify them and praise them through everything that we do. So to be able to just come out here and have the platform that we have, to be able to influence kids, and not only kids, but people our age, people older than us, to be able to bring as many people closer personally to the Lord and to my brother, to let everybody know, my brother's legacy, and the good Lord, because, we're all doing this because of him. And faith, we're all super close, in the locker room, and I think that, God is our glue.
Awesome. And then you mentioned Tiger. How much did today's start mean to you and just everything that's going on in your life and everything like that?
Yeah, definitely not. I always say, no matter what happens, God and my brother, they got a perfect plan. You may not always see, what God's doing behind the scenes or seeing working, but he always is. Him and my brother are going to be the greatest orchestrators of my family's life, my friend's life, everybody that knew him and didn't know him. So be able to just come out here and again, this is all his plan. I was always going to start week 6 because that's how they won up top in heaven. And I truly believe everything happens for a specific reason and purpose. So I just buy into that each and every day.
Amen. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, man.
You just talking about your defense, complimenting, your offense.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about that shutout today in the first half?
Yeah, the defense has been playing good every game. We got a great defense. That only helps us get better on offense, not only during the games on Sundays, but throughout the practice week. Getting to go against those guys each and every week, getting the looks that they're given. And they all go, like everybody, just super hard each and every day at practice. Now they're playing great. PG, is doing a great job. All the guys, led by Maxx, are all doing a great job. Like I say, they're going to keep playing like that. We're going to keep playing the way we're playing. And, like we said last week, we're going to get this thing on the right train. So.
And lastly, to get that first win at home, man, of the season.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that?
Yeah, man, it feels great. Like I said, anyone in the National Football League always feels great. To be able to come in and give the fans a win, is definitely great, and like I said, it always feels good to win, to know that the process works, that, it just takes a few little things to correct and fix and, come out and get a win. And like I said, we're excited to just keep on this track, keep on this road and, go start getting on a little streak.
Thank you, Jack.
Yep.
It feels really good to, finally go out there and play a game where all three phases of the team were going out there and executing. And yeah, it just feels really good to go out there and put on a performance like that.
And for the defensive line in particular, just going 5-6 sacks at the Kid Williams today. Just talk about what you guys were able to do.
Like I said, it's just a good feeling knowing that we go to work every day and, we practice really hard. On Wednesday, you guys would just have to see the stuff we do out there as a D-line, and it's not even just our coach. But, shout out Robbie for real, because he's the one that's, at the top of everything. But it's just us coming together collectively and pushing each other because, our mindset is, to be the heartbeat of the team, and, because it starts up front. It's, going out there, setting the tone, and then, going out there, putting that performance on it, and it just feels, good, knowing that, the work was worth it.
Especially coming from so many different defenders, how valuable is that? Not just one or two guys.
Yeah. Everybody balled out. Maxx balled out. Lecky went out there, like, 5th play, got a sack. And then Dev. It's just good seeing all the guys, all the hard work we put in since the spring, seeing it come to fruition.
What do you think the key was for you guys on third down today?
Obviously, we struggled last week on third down, and so that was a big emphasis this week in practice. And so, as you could tell, that definitely showed that we worked extra hard on that during the week and went out today and executed.
You guys were flying out there. You brought up Lecky. It seemed like there was a little extra juice when Lecky got that sack today.
Oh yeah, man! I was excited for Lecky. I mean, that's my dog. I had to throw up the T for him because he's Tongan and everything, and so my Polynesian brother had to show love to him, and he was super excited just because it was like his fifth play, and just went out there and got a sack, and so I was happy for him. I mean, if you can't be happy for your teammates, you should be out there. I mean, seeing all the boys get sacked, seeing Maxx get a sack. The play wasn't even over, and I was already jumping up like happy with a big smile just because I see how much work they put in Maxx. He really cares about this. To see him go out there, have a 2-sack game, great feeling. As a teammate, being able to see your boy go out there and ball.
How do you use this to fuel for next week now?
Just stacking 1-0 every week. Just keep stacking bricks because, you don't want to get too high, you don't want to get too low, you want to stay in the middle, and that's exactly what we're trying to do.
You feel like you believe in momentum? Do you think this could?
Yeah, for sure. It's just not getting too far ahead of yourself. Obviously, because it's NFL, it's professional, the National Football League. Anything can happen. You want to put that work in during the week and come great game plan for the Chiefs and go out there and execute. Don't want to get too high, don't want to get too low. Obviously.
After a win like this, does the energy of the defense change heading into this week?
I mean, yeah, obviously, when you out there making plays, that energy is it's contagious. And so, everybody's feeding off each other. That's what you want. It's like a snowball effect. And so that snowball is rolling down that hill and, everybody's just out there balling, hair on fire, playing, running around and, having fun. That's the biggest thing about football is just going out there having fun.
You said you guys were so close, to forcing turnovers and takeaways, man. And what was the difference for you guys today?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, it's just putting extra emphasis, doing the little things right this week at practice. And just going out there, everybody cheering on your brother, being out there. And, that juice is contagious, like I said. And, man, just going out there and executing.
Right? So after the game, at the end of the game, when you fall on the ball, the game is over, what's that emotion feeling like we won, I have the ball in my hand?
Man, it's a great feeling. I think what you need to look at is Lecky Fotu really caused Cam Ward to fumble the ball before he was able to throw it. I think it's just the entire day, right? You have Jonah Laulu causing, an errant pass that Devin White, gets to. And it's just we feed off each other, right? So for me, to be able to have the ball in my hands was fantastic, but at the same point, it's a team effort. And I really, really realized that every single time I turn the tape, and even when I'm out there with the guys, I appreciate them for the effort and they appreciate me.
And what does that feel like when you turn the tape on? You see, as a cohesive unit, you're working so well and can cause that many disruptions. What does that do for the locker room, for the defense specifically?
It's huge because it tells you that what you're doing is working, right? And the consistency that you guys are having as a unit and the mentality and the culture that you're building week by week is working. So I think it's a great feeling. You can see it on the tape. Again, not everything's going to be perfect in a football game. There's going to be missed tackles. I had a missed tackle today, right? But I had my brother's back, and they had my back, So that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
As a unit, how do you keep this momentum going into the next one?
I think for us, it's just locking back into the details, right? My dad always says keep your powder dry, which is just be even keeled, right? So obviously bring the energy out when you need it, but it's control aggression. So for us, it's how do we refine, right? Even with the win, you can't, not look at the things that you could have gotten better at because those are the things that people are going to key on next week to try to get you down. So for us, just keeping consistent.
Awesome, thank you.
D-line did a great job penetrate. I knew we was going after them, so I just wanted to be ball conscious in coverage just in case, he tried to check it down that I could really make a splash tackle or even, a pass deflection, but they got their hands up or whatever, probably hit him as he was going in. I just had to go cash in. You always get the tilts and overthrows. You never let them go by you.
And that was the only time you cashed in because of strip sack.
Yeah.
Can you talk me through that play?
We was in a nice blitz, PG dialed up, and we've been working on it all week. And, man, I was ball conscious. That's all we've been talking about, who can get the ball. So when I went to go tackle him, I secured the tackle and I punched at the ball. So it was a special play, and a special play to the D-line for everybody to penetrate and getting the ball because, they could have got the ball back and we could have been still playing defense, but that just let you know everybody was ball conscious.
Right. And you spoke already about how much faith is in your life. Do you guys in this locker room, is faith something that's Jack is over there praying right now?
faith is big, man. We pray before every game in the shower. We pray after every game. We always give Him the glory, win, lose, or draw. You know, we got Bible study at the building. We do it on Saturday nights before the games, and obviously everybody do their own thing. You know, I like to. I got a streak on the Bible that I've been going for the whole time, and man, I just try to stay dialed in because at the end of the day, without Him, I'm nothing. You know, but with Him, I'm everything. You know, whether stuff good or bad. So I just keep my faith at all times. As a linebacker in this league for a long time, I kind of know protection. And when they put the backup on Maxx, I knew that they didn't have enough. Right. And they was going to probably cut me free because they're going to protect inside out first. Okay. So I just went with my move.
Yeah, because you were completely free.
Yeah.
How do you describe the feeling in the room after this one?
It feels good. I mean, obviously, it's been a long time since we won, so, a great feeling to go out there and get that done. So really special.
How much was this needed for you, for the locker room, for the team in general, just to snap that losing streak?
It's big time. I mean, all it takes is, one play, one win, to get the momentum, rolling in the right, way, and we're going to continue to, get better and, keep stacking this.
It looked like there was a point after one of the drives that you kind of rallied the offense together and had some words. I guess just what went into that and how do you guys think you progressed earlier to finishing this thing off?
Yeah, I mean, I just felt like in the beginning we weren't playing to our potential. We're giving up sacks. We weren't being efficient in the run game. So just kind of reminding everybody, that's what it's going to take to win. And, that's what we do at home. We don't lose at home. And, I just had to relay the message to all the guys.
How difficult is that not to hang your head when things aren't going right early on like it were?
I mean, it's tough, but, the game's not always going to go the way you want it to. It's a long football game, 4 quarters you got to play, all 60 minutes.
The first drive coming out at halftime, you had 9 touches, ended up in the end zone. What was working so well in that drive, and was that by design to have that many touches right out of the half?
I mean, I wouldn't say it was by design. We knew we came in the game, wanted to run the football, but we were just being efficient, not just in the run game, but throwing the ball as well.
You had a guy like Mike Mayer step up today, especially in the absence of Brock Bowers. How big is that when someone steps up like that, like Mike?
Big time. I mean, Mike's been doing a great job. Obviously, he's been out, so really great to see him come back in and, make an immediate impact.
What about the defense? The way that the defense was able to play and maintain no matter what was going on, they were able to get off the field and get you back the ball.
Big time. I mean, they balled out. I mean, getting pressure on the quarterback, I think 5 sacks, stopping the run game, tackling the run back in the backfield. I mean, they played a great game.
Speaking of Mike, how much does the offense change when you're tight end to get a call?
I mean, it's great to be able to have them in the run game, to bring that physical mentality and make, big time blocks. But also, those guys can get out there and run routes and catch the ball.
Ashton, most carries you've gotten so far to start the season. How'd you feel with that workload, and what do you think running the ball a lot today did for the offense overall?
Yeah, it felt good. I mean, I think just kind of setting that mentality, we're going to run the ball. And, when we're efficient in the run game, we do better as an offense. It makes the job easier in the passing game, and we got to continue to just keep getting better.
You're obviously a rookie, but as you mentioned earlier, you had to relay that message. Why was that so important for you, and how are you able, as a rookie, to be a leader in this offense?
Yeah, I mean, leadership doesn't matter what age you are, where you come from. It's just trying to get everybody together to accomplish the same goal, make sure everybody's on the same page. And, right there I could kind of feel us, not playing as well as we needed to. And I just felt like today was a must-win game, as, all of them are.
After one of the open field plays, they tagger you kind of low. You came out immediately. Mostert came in. You feeling fine? Everything's good?
Yeah, I'm feeling great.
Just some bruises?
Just some little bumps and bruises, man.
Max, can you just describe the feeling in the room after this one? Getting back on track?
Yeah, it was awesome. We every time we come out to play on Sundays, we expect to win, and today we did that. So hasn't been exactly the results we've wanted, but just about staying the course and continuing to prove. And we had a really good week of practice and translated to the field. So we definitely have some things to clean up as well. We know that, but yeah, it definitely feels good. Getting a win.
Can you talk about the position group, the D line, and felt like everybody was kind of flying around out there.
Yeah, it's awesome. The standard we set for ourselves in that room is, top tier. Love those guys, man. We have a ton of young guys, proving themselves, and guys with, a ton of energy. So it's a blessing, being able to go to work with them every day.
Max, how much do you feel like the players meeting was a positive? And
It's complete. I don't know who made that up, and I hear different random shit all the time. So I don't know who came up with that, but that was 100% false. So I don't know where that comes from.
Max, earlier this week, Patrick Graham said he was tired of the talk. He was ready for you guys to do it. Was that the mentality going into the game this week?
100%. Anybody could talk, but when it really comes down to it, it's about going out there and getting the results. And it comes from the preparation and, focus on where your feet are at, not worrying about, tomorrow, worry about yesterday, just being exactly where you're at. And it's going to give you the better chance, to be at your best, the next day. So that's our mindset. And, like I said, we had a really good week of practice, and we have awesome guys in this locker room. So it was really cool, being out there and seeing all the guys flying around.
Lance, as a team, you guys had 6 sacks. How easy is it to really get after the quarterback and rush the pass when you stop the run as well as you did today?
Yeah, it's everything matters. Playing complementary football, we know that. And it goes with special teams, with offense. The offense is scoring points, moving the ball. It just makes everything easier. And we talk about it as a unit. We're very open and honest. We have, every Monday it's Tell the Truth Monday. We go in there and, how are we going to help each other out? How are we going to, put ourselves in more, easier situations where we can go be at our best. And, it's on all of us to be at our best. Our defense, we haven't been at our best all year. The offense hasn't, the special teams haven't, but I know we're focused on getting better, and that's all you can do. So yeah, we've just stayed together, through all the things going on around us, and staying focused on what matters, and that's trying to get wins.
Heading to Kansas City next week, how much do you take from this game, and how much do you put behind you?
I mean, you got to treat the losses and the wins, almost the same, because you can't get too high, can't get too low. You got to be even keeled. You got to be calm in the storm, and you got to be the storm. You know what I mean? You can't be riding the roller coaster all the time. If you are the storm, you control the outcome of what's about to happen. So I feel like that's kind of our mentality, is just not getting too high, too low, no matter if it's win or loss. So we, obviously we're trying to, have this feeling more often. That's the ultimate goal. We want to win. But like you said, like, just because we won doesn't mean you just forget about all the things that we got to fix. So we got to address, more things as well. But I think we're going in the right direction. So it's just one day at a time mentality.
I feel like before I ask my question, the ice is looking nice.
Appreciate it.
It's nice. So now for the question. It wasn't just one guy on defense. It was multiple guys. What does that do for you as a group when everyone's chipping in?
Yeah, we can't do it alone. It can't just be one guy. It can't just be a couple guys. It's got to be all of us, doing our 111th. And, Coach McMahon, our special teams coach, talks about it all the time. Just do your 111th and dominate your role. And everybody's going to have, the optimal, success that you can possibly have. If you're just focused on your, selfish things and I need to get mine and da-da-da-da-da, you're, ultimately you're not going to get what you want, and you're going to hurt the team. And if you're doing it with no intent to receive, it's going to come back twofold. And I truly, believe in that.
What kind of spark is Devin White in the locker room?
Oh, he's been awesome. Dev is he's a character, to say the least. But yeah, he's been awesome. With him, coming in, trying to prove himself. He's had a lot of success in this league. He's moved around, in the last couple of years, but having him being here, and just seeing, the energy he brings has been really cool. So, me and him got an awesome relationship, and it's just about, holding each other accountable at all times. That's what it's all about. Me and him, we go back and forth and talk our practice, and, whether it's the locker room, whether it's practice field, whatever it is, like, it's that competition to try to just, always be the one bringing the most juice and the most energy and the most, the best execution, who's making the most plays. That's what I feel like when you have that healthy competition, it's just going to help, the team overall.
On top of that, how do guys like Jamal Adams and Jeremy Chin also play into that?
Oh, yeah. No, those guys are awesome. Chin's a little bit more quiet, but he's a great dude, great teammate. And just the energy and the way he plays the game, he flies around and he has no fear when he's out there on the field. So when you have a guy like that on the back end and being able to, move him around in a lot of different spots, his versatility helps our defense a lot. So he's been incredible, since he's been here. He's one of those guys, just no nonsense, good to work. And he's been an awesome teammate. But Jamal Adams, another guy, I've known him, like I said, since high school. The energy he brings, the way he plays on the field, he's all over the place. And he's been a big part of our defense, and he's another guy. He's versatile. Play him inside, you can blitz him off the edge, you can come up the middle, you can do a lot of different things. So, like I said, like he's just a great locker room and a great standard setter. You know what I mean, for our team and our defense. So, yeah, got nothing but good things to say about those guys.
And then one more in the first half, you made a tackle. It was 1st and 10. You made a tackle at the sticks at the first down. Do you take pride in being able to cover so much of the field?
Yeah, I was, being relentless, I got it freaking tatted on me so I can see it every day when I'm taking my notes. It's the first thing I see. You got to be relentless out there. And if you want to be different, you got to be, you got to act different. You got to be consistent to that all the time. So whether I got to sack the quarterback or get a TFL or bat the ball or run somebody down on the sideline, I'm going to be able to do that to help my team win. That's all that matters.
Max, first of all, happy birthday.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
And
Absolutely.
second of all, speaking of relationships and, going at each other, as you mentioned, you've got Casey next week and that relationship. Can you talk a little bit about facing Mahomes and how quickly are you going to start practicing for him?
Yeah, it never stops. I'm going to, obviously get home to my family. It's my daughter's birthday tomorrow. So, I'm definitely going to be spending time with my girls. But yeah, it starts right away. It's, people say 24-hour rule. It's basically like maybe 12 for me. And then start getting prepared for the next week and figuring out what I can improve off of. And then, start breaking down the film one day at a time, getting ready for KC. But yeah, me and Pat, we've had some history. Everyone knows that. It's ultimate respect. When somebody that is obsessed with the game and is willing to go to the farthest extent to win, just like yourself, like it brings the best out of, each other. So I can't wait. But there's a lot of work to do until then. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Max, we saw you talking to Booker, giving some tidbits to Booker. We see Jonah taking off. How good does it feel for you when the advice that you give them works out?
It's not about me. I just try to, show them. I just feel like when you have guys that are, coming up in the league and younger guys, I think the confidence part is the biggest thing. As far as, taking that next step as a player. So for me, I'm just always staying in their ear and just telling them to trust their work. You know what I mean? They're out there for a reason. And you just see them evolving, and it's been so cool. Jonah's playing his ass off. He's making more and more plays every week. Booker, that dude is a freaking refrigerator that can fly. So he's a scary combination of talent that can go out there and make plays. So we have a lot of guys that are trying to prove themselves, and whatever I can do to try to help them, I'm going to do. So, yeah, I love those guys, man. They're playing their ass off.
Max, a similar kind of question.
Last question, guys.
A little bit about Tyree. Comes up with the fumble recovery today, and in practice, spend a lot of time with him. Just how do you feel about, how he's coming along and the game he had today?
Yeah, Tyree's doing awesome. He's matured so much in the last couple of years. He's another guy, he stays in my corner. You know what I mean? He's with me every day. We work every single day. I give him a hard time. He gives me a hard time too, even though he's a younger dude. But he's really evolving just as a person and as a player. And, if I had any type of effect on that, it mean the world to me, because I really do love the dude. He's a hell of a player and a hell of a person, and he's just continuing to get better. And I just, expect him to just keep, going in that direction, because, he's learning how to be professional. He's learning how to work, and you just see it coming to life on Sundays.